Take on New York sports. This is episode number 33. If I got that correct, yes, 33. It is Saturday morning, September 25th already. We're going to jump right into the MLB today, and before we even start with that, I want to, and before I even say my opening statement here, I get that the jerseys represent the Boston Marathon and all that, and I can respect that. I'm down with that. But man, those freaking yellow mustard color jerseys that the Red Sox wear. I mean, they got the yellow mustard jerseys, and then they got like those baby blue helmets, for a team that's called the Red Sox. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, big game for Judge yesterday, as usual. Let me just get Ava in here. Hold on a second.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Nothing. If you hear background noise, I'm sure you can guess what it is.
No. Would you just wake up?
No, I went downstairs actually, and Peyton was yelling because she wanted to draw with markers.
That's funny. Mia just got done painting, but anyway, so wonderful game last night for the Yankees.
Wonderful game for Giancarlo Stanton.
Yep, the Giancarlo Stanton redemption tour continues.
Man, people gotta start appreciating him.
The thing is, obviously, we go back to playing the outfield, where he's not clogging up the DH spot. That's obviously one benefit of it. But the other benefit is his hitting.
He plays so much better. Yeah,
like he spoke about, he's not just solely focused on hitting. You wind up overthinking and this and that, and and plus, he's actually a very good outfielder. He was a top tier outfielder when he was with the Marlins. I know he's obviously older now and more banged up, but I think if you can find that balance, especially looking into next year, of DHing him and giving him the outfield. Obviously, we started late this year.
Yeah.
But if you can get him for a whole year, maybe play 100 games in the outfield.
Yeah, at least.
And DH another, 40, 45 games or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think you're going to see the kind of production that he's showing us now. And again, I don't think he's ever going to be that, 55, 60 home run guy.
No MVP caliber seasons anymore, I don't think.
Right. But again, you look at him and Judge staying healthy, having very productive seasons, and the Yankees are basically, I think the stat that they gave yesterday, they have one loss, like when they both homer in a game.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and just their averages are great, and it goes hand in hand with them winning. It's not a coincidence.
No.
They're two of the literal and figuratively, but two of the biggest players on this team.
When they play good, the whole team plays good because they see and they feed off that energy.
Exactly.
And the thing with Stanton is we all kind of forgot how good of an outfielder he was because he hasn't played the outfield in so long.
Right.
And it's just a matter of he hits so much better because he's not sitting in the dugout, waiting for his next at-bat. Yep. He's actually up and moving and, whether that be, making a big catch in the outfield or even just, catching up and backing up Gardy or something when he plays center, or Judge when he plays center.
Yeah. He's been very, it's been a breath of fresh air watching him out there. He's been obviously, we talked to production, but he's been like you said, the energy.
Mm-hmm.
They feed off of him and his his personality, that little smirk that he gives every time he crushes one. It's
without a full swing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
half a swing goes 450 feet.
Yeah. Gleyber Torres.
Who could have predicted Gleyber Torres finally hitting? Not me.
You had spoken a couple times about, obviously, the big free agent shortstop class at the end of this year.
Yeah.
And, Obviously Story, Correa, Javi Baez. I know I'm missing somebody else, but
Javi Baez does not want to be a New York Yankee. I
well,
promise
yeah.
you.
Listen, I don't want him either, and it just it opens up a couple different questions then.
We'll put
Because
Glaber at second.
Gio is solid at shortstop. We know that.
Yeah.
And
Glaber's
Gio
proved.
going forward is a part of the team. LeMahieu obviously is signed. He's a part of the team. If Glaber plays like this at second base, listen, I'll sign for that right now.
Yeah.
His production, and he's even, again, that one little play he made defensively at second base where he threw to first base instead of second.
Yeah.
Um,
and then he corrected himself just
right,
like
but
I
exactly,
said
and he's been tremendous. He looks so much more comfortable there.
Yeah.
And his production, his offensive numbers are showing that as well. So if he's going to play second, obviously first base is a question mark for the fact that Rizzo's, only signed through this year.
Re-sign Rizzo, and I'll be the happiest person on the planet.
Yeah, I mean, if our starting infield next year is Rizzo, Glaber, Gio, and DJ,
not a bad infield.
Right, I guess you got to be happy with that, yeah.
I think the Yankees will be tempted just because they're the Yankees to shop some shortstop because this it's such a big year for shortstops free agency wise.
Yeah,
but I really don't think they need to.
Yeah, I mean they're going to need a lot of bullpen help.
Yeah, and this is a terrible year for bullpen free agency. Ironically
right,
enough,
and
next
what do you
year
do?
Is a good year.
Right, what do you do starting pitcher wise? Obviously, Kluber's just signed through this year.
Robbie Ray.
Right, he's a free agent after he wins a Cy Young, which is going to drive up his value a lot. But
God, if the Blue Jays somehow keep him and Semien, we're screwed.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, let's we're going to dive more into that as the offseason comes and everything. But speaking of Toronto, the Minnesota Twins helping out the Yankees like they always do.
Of course.
By beating them 3-1 yesterday. So now we have a 2-game lead on the Blue Jays for that second wildcard spot and Seattle, because Seattle's won 6 games in a row.
And we're 1 game behind the Red Sox for the first wildcard spot, correct?
Yep, and we're only 1 game behind them. Obviously, we beat Boston in these next 2 games, then we hold the number 1 spot.
And they have an easy schedule, though.
Right, they have a very easy schedule playing Baltimore and the Nationals.
And then we have to play Toronto and Tampa. So
right.
I would like
there's a couple different things that go into that. Tampa
sweet
has a 4-game lead over Houston for the number 1 spot in the AL. So if that lead holds up, then that basically means those last 3 games the Rays are playing for nothing because they'll have locked up that number 1 spot.
Yeah.
So that could be good for us. Yeah. Not that the Rays wouldn't want to beat us anyway, because,
we're the Yankees.
Right. We don't like each other, apparently.
Is it in Fenway or... not Fenway. Is it in Tropicana?
No, it's actually at Yankee Stadium.
Oh, thank God. I hate Tropicana.
Yeah, we're going...
That's why I hope they don't, in a way, because I just freaking hate the Trop. It's terrible.
Yeah, we're going to Toronto, which
they're doubling the capacity for that series.
15,000 to 30,000, yeah. So that place is going to be rocking, and we suck in Toronto anyway. I mean, even when they played in Buffalo,
in New York.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough series. I almost think even tougher than this Boston series for some reason, because
no, I do too, because
we seem to have we're kind of figuring out the Red Sox a bit, and figuring out Eovaldi last night was really nice to see.
Yeah, Glaber said that they talked before the game, and the game plan was be aggressive early, get runs for Cole, which they did. And yeah, Cole had that one bad pitch, but Cole pitched good. I'm not going to sit here and say he pitched fantastic, because he did walk a couple guys and give up.
Right, the walks were a little bit too much. But again, you give up you give up a home run to Rafael Devers. That's not.
No, it's not the worst thing in the world.
That's not a big thing, He had he was 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 6 strikeouts, and the 3 walks. Cole's a guy who, he walks 1 batter and you're like, oh, wow. 2 batters, I think that's it. We can't have any more than 2. He starts to get to that 3 mark and you question, where's his command at and everything. But, and you also start to
jams. He got out of
He did.
jams.
He did, which was nice to see. And you also start to worry about the hamstring then. Not that he re-injured it or whatever, but is that in the back of his mind?
I
Is he
mean, I
altering his pitching
imagine
style
so.
a little bit to try to compensate for that?
I don't know. I imagine Matt Blake, Aaron Boone, they're all gonna kind of have a talk with him because even though he did pitch good for the most part, those walks, that was abnormal. The lack of strikeouts for Garrett Cole. I mean, doesn't he have like an absurd amount of strikeouts this year?
Yeah. I think he's actually 11 behind Ron Guidry's Yankee single season record. This isn't one of the years where he strikes out 300 like he's been doing the last couple. But
But
I
he
think he's up
also
at
plays for the
258,
Yankees.
260, something like that. Um,
Definitely not
he's
a
having
Yankee
another
name.
very good year.
Yeah,
Um, looking at the schedule though, um, he's
it's
set to
scary.
pitch. We know he's set to pitch one of the games in Toronto. And then it basically boils down to, does he pitch the last game of the season or does he pitch the wild card game? Now,
If it's
obviously, if we
if it's
don't
the
need
last
that
game of the
last game of the
season,
season for
no.
anything, we save him for the wild card game. But
If
they were
it's the
talking on the
last game of the
broadcast.
season, if
What's
it's the
that?
last game of the season and we're on the outside looking in and we're one game out, obviously you play Garrett Cole. But
Right,
that raises the question of if we're one game out of the lead spot and home field advantage,
right. That's what I
do
was going
they
to say.
play?
Yeah, they were talking about that on the broadcast yesterday. What do you do? Um, my thing is, and I think David Cohn said he would probably go for the home field advantage, but I
I
think I
don't think I
disagree with
care that
him.
much.
Right. I think I would disagree with him because we can, if we're playing like our potential is, then we could beat anybody anywhere. So it doesn't matter.
Of course, and you want Garrett Cole pitching that wild card game no matter where it is.
Right. Absolutely.
I don't think it
So,
matters where it is. It's not like we'd be going to, you know, a ballpark where Garrett Cole sucks because Garrett Cole doesn't suck in any ballpark.
right.
He just
And,
doesn't. He's Garrett
the
Cole.
only reason we're having this conversation too is, I mean, there's a few reasons, obviously, but one is the lack of wins against the Orioles during the season. And the beginning of the season games, oh, it's early. It's just how many times this year did we hear it's early, it's early, it's early, it's early? But
A lot.
you can't. And again, I don't mean to pick on Baltimore, but whatever. We know they're rebuilding. We know they're kind of tanking. You know what I mean?
We
But
know they suck.
they
They have
have
over 100 losses.
right. They have. Let's put it this way: we have the worst record against them out of any other division opponent. You know what I mean? It's still a winning record, but you
Well, I
know,
would hope so. If it was a losing record,
well,
that'd be a whole different
no,
situation.
I know, but they've beaten us 8 times this year, and
Oh dear
that's
God.
you're talking. Tampa went 18-1 against them. I know we did that a few years ago too, but if we went the same record against them as Tampa did, we're basically one game behind Tampa then.
Yeah.
So that's your division. It's just come next year. I don't want to hear it's early. Don't worry. This, that, the other thing, because a game in April means the same as a game
It's
in
a game in
September.
September. Yeah.
Just flat out.
No, you're 100% right, and I think people just because September's so far away, they have time to recover, but it doesn't matter because that game still goes on the record. It's not like it
Exactly.
was it's not like it was a spring training game. It's not
Right.
like that was just a game for fun. No, that's still on the record and that's going to haunt us later, which all of those Baltimore games in, you know, April end up doing, even though we did lose a couple lately, but those
Yeah.
games in April, even if we had still lost those games recently, if we hadn't lost those games in, the beginning of the season, we'd be fine. And now you hear Peyton.
Yeah. 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 It's again. It's and I'm not saying a pitcher's going for a no hitter in his first start of the season and he's at 110 pitches.
Yeah.
In the sixth inning, let him go for it. You know what I mean? There's obviously exceptions to, different scenarios and all that, but, you have to. I understand that all these pitchers, all these managers and stuff are under these mandates of resting guys and this, that, the other thing. But, there's certain times that players are hot and then next day you see them on the bench. It's just, you got to get every win you can. I mean, it's an obvious statement, but
Sometimes it doesn't register.
yeah. But, yeah, so we got 8 games left. I mean, you at least have to win each series.
Who else does Toronto play?
Toronto actually plays. Where are we?
Imagine if
Well,
the
we know.
two wildcard spots end up being Oakland and Seattle after all this.
No, Oakland's too far back now. Even
That'd be
there's just
freaking
too many teams to
hilarious.
jump over. Oakland's 4
Poor
games
Oakland.
back
Poor Oakland.
of us. But yeah, obviously Toronto finishes up with the Twins. Then they play us, and then they finish the season against the Orioles.
Oh, great.
So again, that just puts that much more pressure on us to go into Toronto and take care of business.
And then to
We
hopefully
put this on
win.
ourselves. You know what I mean? The Yankees, they
Yeah.
put this on themselves where they got to dominate. They got to potentially sweep Boston to catch them and potentially sweep Toronto to keep them in the rearview mirror. Because both of those teams have 3-game series against the Orioles, and you know what they're going to do against the Orioles.
Yeah, because they're not the New York Yankees and won't lose 8 games to the Baltimore Orioles.
Right.
But it's just a matter of, they did this themselves by losing those stupid games in April, by getting swept by Detroit, by,
that was a brutal one.
by getting embarrassed in Houston, blowing 5-run leads, blowing 4-run leads, giving up grand slams in the 9th inning, Aroldis Chapman. And, just not that the injuries helped, but a lot of people are using that as an excuse. Okay, freaking, how many injuries did they have in 2019? How many injuries did they have in 2017?
Yeah,
Doesn't
I
matter.
mean, obviously it's a built-in excuse, and it's legit because if you don't have your best players out there, you're not going to be as good. But the bottom line is that doesn't matter. Every team deals with injuries. It's part of the sport, and you just have to deal with it.
The bottom line is our 2 best hitters haven't gotten hurt this year, minus the COVID.
Yeah.
Judge and Stanton have been 2 of our healthiest players this year, and who went into the season thinking we were going to be able to say that?
Yep.
Judge and Stanton have stayed healthy. Other than COVID, this team's offense has stayed relatively healthy. The pitching has been the problem. O'Day gets hurt. Loizaga gets hurt. Cole was out for a little bit with COVID. Montgomery was out for a little bit with COVID. Nestor was out for a little bit with COVID. Obviously, we didn't get Severino back until recently. Domingo Germán is hurt. Michael King was out for a while. It's the bullpen, really, and not that the starting pitchers, having COVID helped, but did any of our starting pitchers other than Germán get hurt?
Kluber.
Oh, right, Kluber, duh. But now Kluber's back and he's pitching relatively well. Right. I forgot about him.
But Tyone was, he's going to be back against Toronto, they said. So basically his was like yeah, but he's actually okay. I think that was more of a precautionary thing.
Oh, okay. Whatever.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah. So again, we'll see. We're gonna have a really, really busy off season to discuss, and also the collective bargaining agreement is up. In December or whatever, the end of this year. So
what does that mean?
That's basically, it's the agreement between the players and the Players Association.
Oh, right. Duh.
So it's like, what's going to happen now is the $210 million, tax threshold still going to be there. I don't think they're ever going to put a salary cap on baseball because of players' contracts already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's more going to be like developmental things, like how many years until you could hit free agency and all that sort of stuff. But there's talks of there's going to be a lockout because they're not going to be able to come to agreement. Hopefully that's not the case.
That better not happen.
Right. And again, there's a lot of issues on the table that have to get resolved, and hopefully they're working on it behind the scenes now. And as soon as that World Series is over, they better get to it and get to it quick.
Yeah.
Because that's going to impact a lot of teams signing free agents and going after players. This free agent year is going to be like super slow, like it was a few years ago.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because they're going to be waiting on
with
news.
With that CBA kind of lingering over them.
100%.
But all right, we'll get back to the Yankees in a couple days. Obviously, see how they fare out.
If they disappointed us,
yeah,
like they have been doing since April.
All right.
The Cardinals have won 14 games straight now.
Yeah, the Cardinals, they're never going to lose ever again.
Literally, we said that about the Yankees. No, the Cardinals are actually the best team in baseball. I don't care.
Well, right this second, they look
Cardinals
like it,
Cardinals going to win the World Series.
Listen, That team is one of the best run organizations, man. They're always,
Hmm.
they're always competitive, even when you think, they're like the Rays,
Yeah, I
but
was gonna say, I was
on a
gonna say about the
slightly different
Rays.
scale because they have money and they pay their players, but they're always there. They're a well run organization.
One thing I do want to say about the Rays before we move on is that
Mm-hmm.
I hate them, obviously, but
Mm-hmm.
they are such a well-run organization. They're so well managed, even though I freaking hate him.
You don't like Kevin Cash?
No, I can't stand Kevin Cash. Um, but they're so well random number. Um, they're so well managed. They're so well coached, and the thing about them is that unlike the Yankees, if you make an error, they make you pay for it.
Yeah.
They don't let that opportunity get wasted ever.
Yep.
I talked to a Blue Jays fan during the Rays Blue Jays series,
Mm-hmm.
and the Blue Jays make one bad throw, it's like a domino effect, and now the Rays are winning by 5 runs.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of they are such a good organization in the sense that they make you pay for your mistakes. They make
Yeah.
you pay for, leaving runners in scoring position. They make you pay for errors.
And
So
that's what good teams do.
yeah, and that's what the
That's why the
Yankees
Rays
used
were
to
in the
do.
World Series last year. That's why they're going to win the division this year.
And that's what the Yankees used to do.
Yeah. All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
Who's the next Rangers captain?
Jacob Trouba. And if it doesn't happen, I'm going to be so mad.
You literally have been tweeting that.
Since June 22nd, yes.
Oh, okay. There you go. I was going to say you probably know when you started that, but yeah.
June 22nd, because I went back and checked a couple weeks ago because I was like, when did I start this? And so I bookmarked the original tweet, the first tweet.
So you're not moved that much by Chris Kreider's 3 minute
Chris
leadership.
Kreider's 3 minute spiel
Yeah.
about his leadership style. No, I'm not I'm touched. I'm glad he'll be a great alternate captain. And you know what? In my personal opinion, the captain shouldn't be someone who disappears in the middle of the season. And I love Chris Kreider. Don't get me wrong. I think most Rangers fans do. I mean, I don't love that contract, but I love Chris Kreider. And if it wasn't going to be Trouba, yeah, obviously I want it to be Kreider.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a matter of he can be so inconsistent. And I get that that's not the captaincy is about leadership, not any style of play. But
Mm-hmm.
let's be real here. Let's be real. You know, Greg
Let's.
McKegg could be the best leader on the team. Doesn't mean he's going to get the captaincy.
He should though. Greg the Leg is just is
Could you
you
imagine
know.
Ryan
I
Reeves for
mean,
captain?
God. Supposedly he's
But
a funny dude, man. From everything you're reading.
oh yeah, no, he's. I think Rangers fans are going to end up loving him. I've liked him for. He was the one
Yeah.
Vegas player I did like. It
Mm-hmm.
was him and Fleury, and now they're both gone. So now I just hate Vegas, and now they added Brett Howden, so just more the reason to hate Vegas. But um,
Howden with the
my
Conn Smythe this year.
my thing with Jacob Trouba versus Chris Kreider is that it's really just the consistency, and and I also think the fact that Trouba was at not that this really matters, but Trouba was at media day. Why wasn't Kreider at media day? Chris Kreider has gone every media day for the past 3 years. And I'm looking into that too much. And every time they need a quote on something that's happening in the NHL, they seem to go to Trouba. Trouba made a quote about vaccinations. Trouba had a quote about Luke Prokop coming out. And I just think that he's just as much of a leader off the ice as he is on the ice. And I know I don't know what goes on in the locker room, so I can't, talk. For all I know, freaking, Alexi Lafreniere could be making a good run for captain, which I don't think they'll give it to him just because he's so young. But I
Yeah.
think if they name Trouba or Kreider captain, the second they're gone, that captaincy goes to Lafreniere. That's my completely, 100% opinion. If he keeps going the way he's going.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the coaching staff and the front office and all that stuff, they know more about behind the scenes than we do.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know. I won't be disappointed either way.
As
because
long as it's one of them, I'll be fine.
it's got to be Truba or Kreider. I think at this point, I think Mika.
Mika kind of took his campaign
He's
down when he had that
Yeah,
slow start.
he's not the running. Panarin obviously said he
He
doesn't
doesn't
want it.
want to be captain.
Basically, um,
But I do
Fox,
like what
Lindgren are kind of outsiders.
Fox and
Outside
Lindgren,
shots.
too young, in my opinion. I think
Um,
I think especially with Gallant and the way Ryan Reeves talks about Gallant, he's gonna want it to be a vet. And especially with Drury, he's gonna want it to be a vet. And
yeah,
a lot of you, and I know honestly, the slight edge that Chris Kreider has is simply that he's been in the organization for so long.
yeah,
But
yeah. And again, it's I'm fine with that. And
is
you
Pat Maroon
figure,
gonna be captain of Tampa in 3 years? Probably not.
yeah,
But I think that it's just true. I prefer Truba personally, just because he will go out there and defend his team. And I'm not saying that Chris Kreider doesn't, because Chris Kreider definitely did last year. But
hmm
Truba is that guy that I'm not saying he's gonna, be fighting like Ryan Reeves, but he's not gonna let you go and lay a hit on Alexi Lafreniere. You lay a hit on Alexi Lafreniere, you're gonna come out with a black eye.
right. Speaking of
And
that, you hear see the whole thing with Lindgren and Laugh at practice.
oh yeah, freaking Lindgren's trying to injure him already. Lindgren gets his first black eye of the season.
Oh God, I love
See,
him. No, he's
it's
just
just a fun team right now.
yeah,
And you know what?
he's
Everything about training camp so far has just been fun. Like, by the way, Keith Kincaid has just robbed Truba about 4 times in training camp. I'm getting notifications from Vince Mercogliano, but
Keith Kincaid is the best.
Keith Kincaid for Vezina. Who are we
I
kidding?
mean, just I don't know. He's like the kind of guy like
He's Rougned Odor.
yes, that's a very very good comparison. Yep, they don't really see playing time
But they're
because
really fun. Who needs a mascot?
right, they're just you see like Rugi. He's always the first one out of the dugout. He hasn't played in like 14 years, and he's the first one out of the dugout.
They're the hype
Congratulating
men.
everybody, all fired up. Yeah, exactly. And
And
Keith Emoji Kincaid is the
oh God, I love him.
he's the
And
same thing.
it's just, as far as the captaincy goes, at the end of the day, it's just a letter. I
Mhm.
think obviously it's more for the fans than anyone,
Yeah.
and which is partially why I think Truba might get a little of an edge in that aspect, because I'm sure nobody is oblivious to how much this fan base hates Jacob Truba. And it's not like they hate him because he's not bad, but it's not like they hate him because of his personality or because, he seems like a locker room cancer. They hate him because of his contract. And a way to get the organization out of fire with that contract is to make him the captain.
Mm-hmm.
Because, not that they'll say anything, but it's like, okay, but now he's our captain, so he's more important than, he would have been. And
listen, if somebody wants to pay me that amount of money, I'll sign on the dotted line. You know what I mean? You can't. It's
not like
always
he was gonna be like, oh, you know what? I don't think I'm worth $8 million. I think I'm worth about 3. No.
right. And again, he was, right place, right time, sort of thing.
Yeah,
we needed him.
There were not many better free agent defensemen, and
Well, we traded for him.
Well, and then we re-signed him.
Right, then we re-signed him. Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that free agent class wasn't great, and he was, the top defenseman available for a trade at that point. So
yeah,
we had to do what we had to do.
Saying like, oh, and I have Winnipeg Jets fans who hate him now because he left Winnipeg, and he left because they wouldn't pay him. Okay, how many?
You know what? How about you perform in the playoffs? All right, Winnipeg. I don't want to hear it.
And also, I don't think people, and I've tried to explain this to people, that it's not like he's this selfish guy who's going to leave for money. He wanted to move, he wanted to play in the States because of his wife, number one.
Mm-hmm.
She was doing a med program in Florida, so it was hard for her to go in and out of Canada. So he wanted to play in the States regardless, and that might have been the turning point for him to ask for a trade, is them not wanting to pay him. But it's not like that was the only reason he wanted out.
Right.
He was barely making any money, and he was one of their top defensemen.
Yeah.
So I mean, he knows his value, and he knew that they weren't going to pay him. So he said, "Trade me." And then the fact that Pionk is playing better than Truba. Neil Pionk sucked with us. Why wouldn't we trade him?
That goes back to like a Sonny Gray type thing. He was a
Yeah.
good pitcher, didn't fit in New York. He went to Cincinnati. He played much better. It's just sometimes you play better in different
He played
surroundings. That's
yesterday,
just the
I
way it
think.
is.
I think he played yesterday.
Oh, did he?
I think so.
Um, Jack Eichel is a what whenever he plays this year.
Anything but a Sabre, hopefully. But you know what? With Buffalo, I don't freaking know anymore because that organization is just a shit show.
I don't think there's any way he's a Buffalo Sabre.
I mean, I think he might just not show up. Like, if I were him, I wouldn't answer my phone. I would lock myself in my basement and just, have someone tell me if they traded me. Because basically what they're saying is, we're not going to let you get your surgery. We're not going to trade you, so you're stripped of your captaincy because you're not enough
and
of a leader.
He's placed on injured reserve, and it's
Oh, he failed his physical. I wonder why.
right. But now what? He can't just sit there at 4 years old. Yeah,
He's
24
so
years
young.
old. I don't know. It's just it's
the
a messy
Rangers need to make a
situation.
trade for him at this point, if the Rangers need to make a trade for him, and you know what? It's on Buffalo now because they should have traded him way earlier when they could have actually gotten something for him.
Yeah.
Now his
they're not
value
going to
has
get.
fallen
Yep.
so much for multiple reasons. The fact that he's been sitting in his basement rotting, the fact that
Maybe he's sitting on his first floor or his second floor. I didn't know he's in the basement.
the fact that he's been stripped of the captaincy, the fact that he failed his physical, and the fact that they've waited so long, so now the recovery time for the surgery is going to be that much longer.
Yeah, I don't.
Just let him get the damn surgery.
I'm not a doctor, obviously. I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you, but I don't know if the option of of rehab without the surgery, if that's a viable option or not.
I don't know. Hannah's dad had the surgery that Jack Eichel needs.
Right.
And he says he'll never play the same. He'll still be Jack Eichel, but he won't be nearly as good as he was. And but that's also Hannah's dad got the surgery right away.
Yeah.
He didn't wait.
Everybody's different too.
Months.
It's just I don't know. It's a really messy situation, and
I feel bad for him.
Right. Regardless, he's a human being still, and it's got to be something's got to be done. It's got to be resolved one way or another, and it's got to be resolved soon.
I don't care.
Let the guy do what he has to do and get back to his career.
I don't care about any other organization in sports. You cannot convince me that any organization in all of sports is worsely run than the Buffalo Sabres. Because
worsely run. I like that.
Listen, we're not going to talk about my grammar right now because they are just, it's terrible. And the worst part is, it's not the first time this has happened. Taylor Hall hates Buffalo. What the hell was that guy's name who was on the Islanders? Not Okposo. The other dude. It's Mike or Matt or something like that. I don't know. There was someone, and he was like friends with Kyle Okposo, and like it's like he's like the godfather of his children or something like that. And he got treated like shit.
Oh, Mike Bossy.
No. I can't remember his name, and it's gonna bug me.
I don't know. He's an Islander. It doesn't matter.
Gabby was talking to me about him.
Gabby. Yeah, we're gonna before the season starts in 3 weeks.
Which means there's about, you know what? They're going to announce the captain at 6:59 the day of the game.
Yeah, 2.5 weeks. So we're gonna do our NHL previews like we did last year. Make our predictions, which were pretty brutal last year.
I had Carter Hart winning the Vezina. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Though, if I had guessed at the end of the season, I would have been wrong too, because I would have said Vasilevsky. But freaking Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But yeah, we'll make our predictions and all that. And I don't know. I mean, you're hearing a lot of the quote-unquote experts already penciling in the Avalanche and the Islanders.
You know, I thought the Islanders were making it last year. I really did. And this year,
that was stressful, that Game 7 against Tampa.
I don't want to say they're going to win it all, but At this point, they have Barry Trotz as their coach, and Barry Trotz. I mean, I hate the guy. I really do. He freaking pisses me off because he like hates life and is the most serious person on the planet. But he knows how to turn a team around. We watched it. He did it to the Islanders, and he knows how to adjust. And after 2 years of losing to Tampa in the conference finals, they've got, well, or semifinals, they got to know how to adjust now at this point.
Well,
And
and who did they lose to Seattle? Eberle, right?
yeah, they lost Eberle, which I don't think that's a big. Well, actually, a lot of Islanders fans, it seems to be split. Some of them are like, this is not a big loss, he sucked, and some of them are, this is huge, we're gonna suck. I'm in the middle ground where I don't think he sucked, but I don't think he was nearly as important to the team as some people think.
Right.
And
I mean, at least they get their captain back this year.
yeah, they have Lee back, which is going to play a big role. You know, they lost the oh so important Travis Sajak. Um, they signed Zdeno Chara, who I
Yeah,
woke up and
he's only 70.
yeah, freaking that man's like the Tom Brady of hockey. He's just it's like insane. And
I think he's actually the same age as Brady. Now that you mention it, I think they're both 45.
and did you hear the thing that he was drafted the year before Barzell and Beauvillier were born?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Oh
And now they have
gosh.
what? Parisi, who's about 50 years old.
He's just he's so done. I mean,
I
obviously
don't. Why?
Minnesota.
When did the Islanders become a retirement home? And like, I'm not questioning Lou Lamoriello's strategy because don't get me
Right,
wrong, Lou Lamoriello.
you never question Lou.
No, but it just. I mean, unless that. I mean, I feel like they're gonna pull a Tampa Bay Rays, and it looks like they made stupid moves, and then here they come. I just think it'd be awesome if like the Islanders missed the playoffs. Not just because I'm a
Well,
Rangers fan, but how awesome would that be if like the top three teams end up being like Carolina, the Rangers, and freaking New Jersey?
you know,
Everybody misses.
I mean Carolina, you're gonna have to watch them obviously, and
With
I know
Tony
that they
D'Angelo.
yeah, Tony D'Angelo, Smitty, Shea, Fost.
Antti
Um,
Ranta, Derek
yeah.
Stepan. The
Who's
list goes
their
on.
they traded for what's his name though, right?
Ethan Bear. Oh no, they offered sheet Kotkaniemi.
No,
They traded for someone? Oh, they
yeah, Freddie
traded.
Anderson,
Yeah, right, duh.
right?
Because they have no goaltending because they let their goalies walk.
Right. And what was that? Mrazek was traded to
Mrazek?
Toronto?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
they
Freddie Anderson's been good, but again, does he carry over that Toronto can't win a playoff
I mean,
series?
I feel a little bad for the guy. He's a good goalie. He just I don't know. I mean, that'd be helpful if he did bring that over, but it's just like
Listen, it's going to be fun regardless. We're back to our 82 game schedule, back to the regular divisions,
and this team
and
is a fun team right now. They're having fun, which
yeah,
is
good.
something
Have
that
all the fun you want, but win some damn games.
okay, Dad, they did not have fun under David Quinn's system.
Well, how can you have fun? You don't play half the time.
Poor Alexi Lafreniere didn't play until like the third quarter of the season.
And can I just say something too? The freaking Olympics, whatever. I know people are big into the Olympics and all this other stuff. I personally have no interest in them. I never watch them. And now we get a freaking 3-week hiatus in the middle of February.
What, you don't want to see Jack Hughes play with the Kachucks?
No interest. And I know that's all you and Gabby are dreaming of, but no interest.
I think
I want to see the NHL. I want to see the Rangers, and I don't want to have to go 3 weeks in February when there's no football. It's not spring training yet, and I have to do nothing in February, which is like the worst month ever as it is.
yeah, you don't like the cold. Well, the way I see it is, I mean, obviously it can go either way for teams. Either they're going to come back and like attack, or they're going to come back and suck.
Yeah, you're going to be rusty or you're going to be rested.
And hopefully the case for the Rangers is that they're rested and every other team in the Metro is rusty.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen.
If you think of it, Fox is probably going to the Olympics. I don't imagine he doesn't. So that'll keep him warm. Not that I'm really worried about Fox as it is. I imagine Kako might go to Finland. He might. I don't know. Depending on this really depends on the first half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? I mean, some people are even saying Shesterkin might go to Russia as a backup goalie.
Yeah, I mean, does Mika play for Sweden?
I'm sure. I'm sure Panarin goes to Russia.
Yeah, see, it's just I don't know.
Buchnevich might.
I don't like it.
I mean, I like the fact that they're letting NHL players play in the Olympics this year. I think that's going to be something interesting to see because you get to see people together that you wouldn't normally see play together. But like at the same time, like 3 weeks, really.
I know.
So I have
I
to go
know.
3 weeks without watching the Rangers disappoint me. And I don't know. Like I don't know, just the thought of Adam Fox possibly playing with Quinn Hughes makes me really happy.
Oh God.
No, I'm kidding. He's probably going to end up playing with McAvoy, but that'd be
Anyway,
interesting to see.
on that note, that's my cue to wrap things up here.
But that was rude.
I'm just saying. I was going to talk NFL, but I have
The Jets
like
and the
a
Giants suck. That's all you need to know.
Well, no, I mean the Giants are going to win this week because it's Eli Manning retirement day, and the Falcons give up 40 points a game. So if the Giants don't score 30 points, then that's it. Let's look for a new quarterback because it'll be Daniel Jones' fault.
Well, how many interceptions did Daniel Jones throw?
I don't know, but all I know is Sam Darnold, Carolina Panthers 3-0. That's all I'm saying.
All I have to say is Adam Gase is the worst person on the planet.
Yes. But all right, yeah, we're going to get ready, get your predictions going, because in about 2 weeks...
I will not be saying Carter Hart for Vezina again.
Because in about 2 weeks, big NHL show, predictions, all that good stuff. And hopefully we don't suck as bad as we did last year, Adam.
Oh, dear. Last year was brutal.
Yes,
it was bad. I thought the Flyers were going to be good.
Yeah, well, you and a lot of other people. All right, that wraps up episode number 33.
Who's 33?
Patrick Waugh.
I was trying to think New York sports, but...
Nick Swisher.
Oh, icon.
I love Swisher.
Nick Swisher.
But anywho, that's it.
Be well.
Okay? Nothing else to add? No, I'm not done yet. I'm going to see if you have anything else to add.
Oh, nothing else. Let's see. I'm trying to think about what I've seen from training camp because I've had my notifications on for Molly Walker. The Rangers will be 100% fully vaccinated by the first game of the season. Supposedly Jacob Trouba has been informing them of everything. Another reason he should be captain. Capo Caco is huge now. Like, he buffed up extremely.
Mm-hmm.
Alexis Lafreniere is still Alexis Lafreniere.
Well, that's good to hear.
Adam Fox or Adam Norris. We don't know. And we also don't know who did it. He said it wasn't Lindgren. But he doesn't know who did it. He just said he knows it most likely wasn't Lindgren because he said Lindgren wouldn't want to give him any more credit. So
I think that's
what?
Who's your guess?
My guess is Keith Kincaid or Ryan Strome.
I was thinking Kreider, maybe.
Maybe.
I was thinking Kreider, maybe. Yeah.
I still think it was. I think my first guess is Ryan Strome, just because I think that they're really close. Watch, it's gonna be like freaking. I don't know.
The leg.
Who's someone serious?
I
don't think anyone's serious on this team.
No.
It was Gerard Gallant.
It was what's his name? Sammy. I don't know how to pronounce
Sammy
his last
Blais.
name. Yeah.
Sammy Blais. I'm sticking with my prediction that Sammy Blais is going to end up being a fan favorite. And
yeah, well, he better be as productive as Bush was. That's all I know.
He's not going to be as productive as Bush was, and we know that. But I also think Bush is going to digress. But
well, hopefully. And
it was
Barclay
Goudreau.
No offense to him because I like him and everything, but hopefully because he's not on our team.
Yeah, and I hate the Blues. So we're going to hope that the Islanders trade Beauvillier for Tarasenko.
Oh, God.
So that I can like him with no shame.
Uh-huh.
And we're going to hope that the Rangers don't suck and that Igor Shesterkin has a very productive year because he's on my fantasy team. which I did do a fantasy draft, and half my team is Rangers because I'm relying on breakout years. So I have Laugh, Kako, Kraftstov, Heaton, and Shesterkin. And Lindgren, I think, and Truba.
A lot of
Obviously,
potential. A
Truba.
lot of potential.
Hey, I'm telling you, Truba's going to have a good year. I'm telling you. You can hold me to that.
We shall see. I will.
We're going to be coming back at the end of the season with Truba's, minus 45 and 2 points.
Oh, God. Talks of a buyout.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that's another reason people don't want to be captain. It looks bad if you buy out your captain. No one gives a shit.
What do you mean? We just trade our captains. That's all we do.
Yeah, freaking, what is this?
We'll make him captain so we can trade him.
He'll end up in Tampa.
Oh, God. Hoisting the cup. God, it's the worst. All right, kid.
Everybody,
talk to you later.
Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. And as always, be well.